Hi everyone. I have okay. Webcam is okay. Is Everything is streamed and recorded in the same time, and that's great. Welcome everyone. Hi, I'm your host Peter. I'm the owner of my own Peter's English podcast, and I decided to don't to introduce myself again and again and again because no one knows me. I don't need to do it, but I can do a short introduction. Hi everyone, I'm Peter. I'm 34 years old. I live in East Slovakia. My hobby is learning English. I want to speak English fluently because learning English is my hobby. I want to visit foreign countries. I want to have a better paid job. I want to meet others who like learning English too, and they are doing their own English podcast and writing their own English novel. I like watching movies and series in English. I like listening to my favorite English podcasts and audiobooks in English, and I like doing my Peter's English podcast. And yes, I like writing, streaming, and writing, streaming, and podcasting my own English novel, Viera the Vampire Girl Diary. Okay, that's it. And yes, I can tell you that I've been learning English since August 2022 until now. The first year I was only learning English grammar. Then I started to do other things, and I created my Peter's English podcast in June. On June 2024, I decided to do my podcast because I want to practice my appearance and I want to practice my speaking skills in English, and that's it. Okay, let's go. That was a little introduction for you, and in this episode I want to practice my English grammar with we can try Gemini AI because the last time it was a very good helper, and we can use it again. Not Copilot. Hi Gemini AI. How are you? I'm doing well. I'm streaming and recording on my Twitch via OBS Studio to new video episode of my podcast. I want to read your messages to my audience and publish it. Today I did my new homework for my next English lesson with my English teacher. I discovered that I have, because I still have problem with questions in general. Please explain me how it works and use a lot of examples. Let's do it. Let's go. Today I did my new homework from my English teacher and I discovered that I have problem with doing questions. Excellent. And how to do it? I can cry or I have problem, or I can do better way. I want to ask chatbots about questions in English, how to do questions, and it can explain me, and with the explanation of the topic, a lot of examples, and we can play and practice together, and that's great. Let's go. But we have to wait. We have to wait because Google Gemini has a little problem like usual, but don't worry everyone. We can simply wait. Oh, that's great. That's a lot of reading that we can do. We still have to wait. Okay. Whew. We still have to wait for Google Gemini. Yes, people, it works, but you have to be but you cannot be nervous and you have to wait. Yes, of course. I think that I can read you the explanation. Yes, I can start. Okay. Hello, Peter. I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. I'm ready and excited to help you with your podcast right now. It's a fantastic that you're streaming and recording this live. What a brilliant way to learn and share. And yes, you absolutely have my full permission to read my messages and explanations to your audience and publish them. As you can see, Google Gemini has allowed me to read its questions to you. Alright class, today's topic by popular demand from Peter is questions in English. This is a super important area and it's very common for learners to find it tricky, but don't worry, we'll break it down into easy understandable pieces. Understanding questions in English, Teacher Gemini explains. The key to forming a question in English is usually inverting the subject and the auxiliary verb or introducing a question word with an auxiliary. Let's look at the main types. The first are yes/no questions. These are the simplest because the answer is usually yes or no. They always start with an auxiliary verb, a helping verb, or the verb to be. Structure: auxiliary verb plus subject plus main verb plus rest of sentence. Examples: verb to be present, direct statement you are happy, questions are you happy, direct statement Viera is queen, questions is Viera queen, verb to be past, direct statement they were at the castle, questions were they at the castle, direct statement Peter was tired, questions was Peter tired, do thus. For present simple verbs, direct statement you like chocolate, questions do you like chocolate, here like is the main verb, do is the auxiliary. Direct statement Viera writes novels, questions does Viera write novels, notice. Writes changes back to write because does carries the s. Did for past simple verbs. Direct statement Peter went to the park, questions did Peter go to the park, notice went changes back to go because did carries the past tense. Modal verbs can, could, will, would, should, must, may, might. Direct statement you can speak English, questions can you speak English. Direct statement Viera will come, question will Viera come, have, has for present perfect. Direct statement you have finished your homework, questions have you finished your homework. Questions These questions start with a question word: who, what, where, when, why, which, how, and ask for specific information. Structure: the word plus auxiliary verb plus subject plus main verb plus rest of sentence. Examples: direct statement: you are doing your homework. Question: what are you doing? Asks about the object your homework. Direct statement: Viera eats chocolate. Questions: what does Viera eat? Where? Direct statement: Peter is in the office. Question: where is Peter? Ask about the place in the office. Yes, this is the reason people why we have to use do does did. Yes, of course. Question: where is Peter? Asks about the place in the office. Direct statement: they live in a castle. Question: where do they live? When? Direct statement: the party is tomorrow. Question: when is the party? Direct statement: Viera will arrive at 8 p.m. Question: when will Viera arrive? Why? Direct statement: he is happy because he passed the test. Question: why is he happy? Direct statement: she left because she was angry. Question: why did she leave? Who as subject. This is a special case. If who is the subject of the sentence, we usually don't use an auxiliary verb like do, does, did. Direct statement: Viera wrote the chapter. Viera is the subject. Question: who wrote the chapter? Not who did write. Direct statement: someone called me. Question: who called you? Who, whom as object. If who or whom, more formal, is the object of the verb, we do use an auxiliary. Peter's direct statement: Viera saw Peter. Peter is the object. Question: whom did Viera see? Who did Viera see? Less formal. How? Direct statement: he drives slowly. Question: how did he drive? Direct statement: Viera came by flying. Questions: how did Viera come? And third options are tag questions. These are short questions added to the end of a statement asking for confirmation. Structure: statement plus auxiliary verb opposite polarity plus subject pronoun. Rules: if the statement is positive, the tag is negative. If the statement is negative, the tag is positive. Use the same auxiliary verb as in the statement or do, does, did. If there's no auxiliary, use a pronoun that matches the subject. Examples: you are happy, aren't you? Viera likes chocolate, doesn't she? Peter went to the park, didn't he? They won't come, will they? You can help, can't you? Key takeaway: the auxiliary verb is your friend. For most questions in English, except who as the subject, the auxiliary verb do, does, did, am, is, are, was, were, have, has, had, will, would, can, could, should, must, may, might is essential. It usually comes before the subject in questions. Don't worry if it feels like a plot. It just takes practice. Yes, of course. Your turn, Peter. Now for your homework challenge. Try to turn these statements into questions. Statement: Peter streams his podcast on Twitch. Question: asking about Peter. I have to do some task. This is the new homework from Gemini. Yes, of course, we can do this. It'll be fun. Question: asking about Peter. Who streams his podcast on Twitch? Yes, of course. Now questions: asking about Twitch. Where did Peter stream his podcast? This was 1 minute at least. But okay, we are learning. People, don't be shy when you have problem with this. It's you have to practice your English. statement. Viera was angry yesterday. Yes, no questions. I don't know. Take your time, think about the auxiliary verbs and give it your best shot. You're doing great and I am here to help you every step of the way. Okay. This was easy. Viera was angry yesterday. Yes, no questions. Was Viera angry yesterday? Aha, question. Asking about when. When she was angry. Yeah, this is easy. Okay. Who streams his podcast on Twitch? Where does Peter stream his podcast? Okay, this is the first part and this is the second part of the homework. Yes, no. Okay. Was Viera angry? When she was angry? When was she angry? And now we have to wait for answers. Okay, and that was too boring and we do something more funny. Okay, but we have to wait as usual. You have to wait for a long time, but okay. Here is the answer. Excellent, Peter. You absolutely nailed those questions. Let's break down why your answers are perfect. The first was statement. Peter streams his podcast on Twitch. Question. Asking about Peter. Who streams his podcast on Twitch? Correct. Who is the subject here? So no auxiliary does is needed. Perfect. Question. Asking about Twitch. Where does Peter stream his podcast? Correct. You use the Viera word where. The auxiliary does, the subject Peter and the main verb stream. Flawless. Second was statement. Viera was angry yesterday. Yes, no question. Why? Was Viera angry? Correct. You inverted the verb was, which acts as an auxiliary verb here, and the subject Viera. Perfect. Viera questions. Viera question. Asking about when. When was she angry? Correct. Use the Viera word when, the verb was, and the pronoun she. Excellent. You've demonstrated a fantastic understanding of how to form yes no questions. Viera questions, both with who as subject and other Viera words, and how to use auxiliary verbs correctly. I'm incredibly impressed, Peter. You clearly picked up on the patterns very quickly. How do you feel about questions now? Does it seem clearer? Yes, of course. Thank you for your great job. Okay, people, you can see that AI chatbots can be very good helper for explaining English grammar and giving a lot of examples. It's a very good idea to use it, and great job. Okay, what can we do now? This episode I was planning like learning English. Okay, I have enough of learning English, but we can do something else. What? Here is the answer from Gemini. You're very welcome, Peter. I'm genuinely happy to hear that it's clearer and that you feel more confident about forming questions. That's fantastic progress. Knowing that my great job is helping you with your English learning and especially with your podcast is incredibly rewarding for me. Keep practicing and don't hesitate to ask if any other grammar topics or anything else come up. I'm always here to help you shine. Okay, I have an idea. We were talking. I was talking with my English teacher about crime vocabulary that we can use in the interesting story. Yes, I want to practice the crime vocabulary because my English teacher gave me a lot of new crime vocabulary. Create a funny detective story inspired by my novel Viera, the Vampire Girl Diary, where Peter is missing and because someone kidnapped him. Viera wants to find him. Wants to find him. Use natural English dialogues and be crazy and funny. I think a good and interesting and funny story is the best idea how to practice the crime vocabulary, I think. Why not? And this can be the last thing for this episode of Peter's English Podcast. The podcast, thanks to it, you can know how to learn English only on Peter's English Podcast. And here is. Oh, perfect story. This can be an interesting story created by Microsoft by Google Gemini. Oh, this is a big story. Perfect, we can start. Okay, people, now I'm going to read you the story created by Google Gemini AI. Artificial intelligence. I've decided to create this story thanks to the help of Google Gemini because I wanted to practice my crime vocabulary and in the fun and unique way. Let's go do it. Alright, Peter, this sounds like a perfect challenge to practice crime vocabulary in a truly fun and unique way. Viera and a missing Peter. Get ready for some crazy, funny, and very Viera-esque detective work. Here's a story for you. The case of the missing kitten and the bewildered detective. The morning sun, usually Viera's least favorite celestial body, streamed mockingly through the castle stained glass windows. But Viera wasn't contemplating existential dread or the lack of decent nightlife. She was staring at an empty spot on her bed, a spot usually occupied by a warm, slightly snoring Peter. Peter, kitten, did you perhaps transform into a dust bunny again? Viera called out, her voice echoing with a rigid impatience that usually made servants spontaneously polish silver. Silence. Her red eyes narrowed. This was unprecedented. Peter, her beloved, perpetually flustered mortal Peter, did not simply vanish. Not without her explicit permission anyway. A cold dread, colder than any crypt, settled in her heart. Someone had dared to interfere with her main course. She found a note on his pillow, scrawled in a shaky hand. Viera, I'm gone. Oh, don't worry. This is for your own good. They said if I screamed, they'd send you a selfie of my socks. Socks. Viera stared at the note. Socks? The audacity! This was clearly a kidnapping, and a poorly executed one at that. Socks, you say? She grovelled, her fangs elongating slightly. This is an insult to my entire dark realm. She immediately summoned Boris, her talking bat. He fluttered in, looking disheveled. Morning, boss. Did I miss breakfast? Is Peter making those ridiculously fluffy pancakes again? Boris, Viera commanded, her voice dangerously calm. Peter is missing. Someone has abducted him. Boris nearly dropped his tiny bed-sized coffee cup. Missing? Not again! Did you finally try to explain quantum physics to the kitchen staff? This is no time for jets, Viera snapped. I require your keen bad senses. This is a crime scene. I need you to investigate. Find my clues. Anything. Boris zipped around the bedroom, sniffing dramatically. Definitely a scent of stale fear and Peter's cologne. Oh, and a faint whiff of cheap synthetic leather, like from a poorly maintained getaway car. Suddenly, the castle's ancient creaky phone rang. Viera answered, a scowl on her face. Who dares disturb the queen of the dark realm? A muffled voice on the other end, clearly disqueased, responded. We have your mortal acquaintance. We demand a ransom. 10 barrels of fresh all negative blood delivered to the old abandoned pumpkin patch by midnight, or your kitten gets a very bad haircut. Viera's eyes blazed. A bad haircut? Do you understand who you are speaking to? I am Viera, the queen of Peter's perfect hair. You absolute criminal masterminds. Do you even know how long it takes him to style that? The voice stammered. Also will make him wear mismatched socks. You fiends, Viera wrote. You'll pay for this felony. Every single one of you will face my wrath. Prepare to be indicted by my fangs. She slammed the phone down, causing a crack in the ancient marble table. Boris zipped back. Boss, I found a fingerprint. And it's tiny, like a child's. Wait, no, it's covered in chocolate and a faint glitter. Viera paused. Chocolate? Glitter? A bad haircut treat. This sounded suspiciously like a certain flamboyant member of her extended family. Boris, Viera sighed, pinching the bridge of her nose. Gather my fastest buds. We're going to pay a visit to my cousin Esmeralda. She has a documented history of trying to borrow Peter for fashion advice and then forgetting to return him. Within minutes, Viera accompanied by Boris and a small squadron of highly trained and slightly terrified bats soared through the sky towards Esmeralda's ridiculously ornate mansion. They landed stealthily on a gargoyle, Viera transforming back into her human form with a dramatic flourish. "All right, my little detectives, this is where we catch our perpetrator." Inside the mansion was a whirlwind of glitter, feathers, and a faint smell of hairspray. Peter was indeed there, tied to a gilded chair with pink velvet robes, looking utterly miserable. Esmeralda, Viera's cousin, a vampire with a penchant for dramatics and questionable fashion, was attempting to apply neon green eyeshadows to his face. "No, Esmeralda, I told you, I don't want the swamp monster chick look," Peter mumbled, clearly a victim of false imprisonment. "But darling Peter, it's how to couture. I cannot free it, people. Couture. A true fashion crime to resist," Esmeralda chirped, completely oblivious to the fury radiating from the doorway. "Esmeralda," Viera's voice cut through the air like a guillotine. Esmeralda shrieked, dropping a mascara wand. "Viera, darling, what a surprise! Just admiring Peter's versatility." Viera stalked forward, her red eyes burning hole through Esmeralda. "You apprehended my Peter. You sent me a ridiculous ransom note. You threatened his hair, and you inflicted this shimmering atrocity upon his face, of course." "Oh, it was just a prank," Esmeralda giggled nervously. "A little fun. You always so serious, and besides, I needed Peter's opinion on my new capes, and he makes the best IT." Peter, from his velvet bones, finally found his voice. "Viera, she made me model capes for hours, and then she wouldn't let me leave, and she took my socks." Viera's rage intensified. "Socks? She's a serial sock thief. This is worse than I imagined." "Peter, my sweet kitten, are you harmed?" "Just emotionally traumatized by glitter and bad fashion choices," Peter whimpered. Viera turned to Esmeralda, her voice dropping to a dangerous whisper. "You are guilty of kidnapping, extortion, assault with a deadly eyeshadow brush, and perhaps the most heinous misdemeanor of all, a bad haircut treat on my Peter." But you can't prove it," Esmeralda stammered, trying to hide behind a feather bow. "Oh, I can," Viera said, gesturing to Boris, who was proudly holding up a tiny, glitter-covered hair curler he'd just snatched from Esmeralda's table. "We have the evidence and the accomplice." Boris puffed out his chest. "That's right, and I'm willing to testify against you," Esmeralda gasped. "Boris, you little informant." Viera untied Peter with a flick of her wrist, pulling him into a fierce, possessive embrace. "You, Esmeralda, are hereby sentenced to 1 month of scrubbing the castle dungeons with a toothbrush and a lifetime ban from Peter's personal space. Also, you owe Peter 50 pairs of new socks." Peter, still dazed, looked at Viera. You came for me." Viera kissed him, a deep, passionate kiss that wiped away all traces of glitter and fear. "Of course, my love, nobody messes with my main course. Now let's go home. And you, Esmeralda, start scrubbing. I'll be sending the sheriff to check on your progress." As they left, Peter leaned into Viera. "You were amazing, Viera, my heroic, terrifying, glorious detective queen." Viera smiled, her fangs glinting. "I told you, darling, nobody steals my kitten and lives to tell the tale without a very bad haircut. Now about those pancakes, the end." Oh, very interesting story created by Google Gemini Artificial Intelligence. What do you think, people? Artificial intelligence today can create beautiful stories, very funny and crazy. Oh, really? But yes, of course, my stories are better. That's clear, isn't it? Okay, people. That was today for today. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I hope that you will use AI chatbots for learning English, because they are very good helpers for you. I'm sorry, and don't listen to people who are talking that AI can be dangerous. Don't listen to this kind of people. They are stupid. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, and I want to tell you bye bye.